Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Remote Learning, boys and girls. This is fourth week, and we are going to start with our first lesson. This lesson is again from our history sections. We have just talked about our previous lesson in our previous weeks that were all from our history section. Before I start, keep your copies, books, and stationery items with you so that we may do the written work once we complete the chapter. Hope you all are fine and enjoying your learning along with your holidays. So let's have another chapter, page number 79. The chapter is 17 and the topic is leading the freedom movement. So boys and girls, as the name show, we are just continuing the previous chapters which were showing us the details after the War of Independence and how the East India Company gripped and fought the war with the local rulers, and initially they were not so strong, but with the passage of time they gripped within the different areas of subcontinent, and ultimately with the passage of time this grip was so strong that they were able to fight with the last Mughal emperor, and this fight ended in the hold of Britishers to the whole of India. So hold was throughout the India, it means that. But with the passage of time, it was very clear, the situation was very clear cut that the Muslim were kept deprived of their main rights and they were kept behind from every important place. And this gave a very deep scratch to those Muslims who were trying to realize their own dignity at that time. They were not missing their important place, but they were quietly missing that glorious past that was for centuries within the region. So those Muslims who are very much educated and learned, they tried to bring the Muslims and the Britishers who were ruling at that time near to each other. Hindus were coming closer to them, and they were occupying the main places of the official value, but Muslims, they were just keeping behind because they were also trying to, but the main issue was they were thinking that the Muslim themselves were thinking that the Britishers are enemy of them because they have taken up their glorious rule from the subcontinent. So, and again Britishers at their own side, they were also trying to keep the Muslim behind as they were not coming together. So that's why there was a gap between the Britishers and Muslims, and so Sayyid Ahmad Khan was the first one who tried to teach the Muslims that they should bring themselves closer to the Britishers so that they may have the good terms initially. Then secondly, it was tried that the Muslim should get the education, and value education was very much important at that time. The Muslims at that time were thinking the English language and the science as an alien. So he taught them, and he just brought the awareness among them that the science and technology along with the English language, they were not alien to the any of the Muslims. Later, different leaders tried their own way to bring the good relation between the Britishers and Muslims. So now in this chapter we will talk some more things about the freedom movements that was continuing after once the political activity was started within the region. The setting up of Congress was the initial step, and initially both Muslims and Hindus were the part of it. But later on it was realized that the region was holding the grip by the Hindus only, but Muslims were not in favor when they were the part of Congress. And this was the basic thing that the political leaders like Muslim leaders who were nobles at that time, Nawab Mohsin Malik and his friends, they founded a new Muslim party that was Muslim League at that time. Initially, even Muhammad Ali Jinnah was not a part of it. Later, he joined it after realizing the cunning nature of the Hindus of that time, because they were just fighting for their own freedom and they were not in the favor of any of the Muslim of India, and they don't want to give them any favor. And so this led Mr. Muhammad Ali Jinnah to think about for the separate homeland of the Muslims. So let's start with the reading of page number 79. Here we will discuss some important topics. He was belonging from a prosperous merchant family in the Karachi, and he went to school in Karachi. Later he was sent to London for the higher education. After the basic education from the Karachi Grammar School, he was the youngest person who became barrister in 1895. In 1960, in 1906, he became very much interested in the politics when he came back to India after getting his education. He joined Indian National Congress, but initially it was very easy to work with them, but with the passage of time it became very difficult for the Muslims like Mr. Muhammad Jinnah to work along with the Hindus. So he tried to work for them independently, for Muslims I am talking about, and the attitudes and the behaviors of the Gandhi and other Hindus leader who were very fanatic at time, they made this thinking of Mr. Muhammad Jinnah that he should work for the separate state for Muslims, not for the whole India freedom. So that is the main point that we will discuss in today's lesson and our first homework for this week. Here is the first homework for this week. This is the question that is related with very much with our discussion. Question is, what were the factors that changed Mr. Muhammad Jinnah's mind into the favor of the separate state for the Muslims? The answer is Mr. Muhammad Jinnah changed his mind because the Congress and Mr. Gandhi both were stubborn. Both refused to the controlling representation of the Muslim after the elections of 1937. He realized that at least the 7 previous provinces out of 11, India must be divided. He thought that the Muslims would be the powerless minority as compared to the Hindus majority in the region. So boys and girls, that is all for today. Do your work and submit it in the Google Classroom timely. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.